everyone. Happy Tuesday. Welcome to Spark It Up Tuesday. Today we're going to talk about the rumors of another possible forced shutdown on the heels of the second wave of COVID. So, not super happy topic, but I'm here to talk about possibly a silver lining or some tips to kind of get through that if that does happen. And even if it doesn't, and certainly let's hope that it doesn't, or any type of shutdown or scale back on services, there are definitely ways for your business to get through it and survive. And not only survive, we've seen many businesses who do that right thrive during this time. So that's what we're going to talk about. So the first half of this mini Facebook Live is going to be about money. So yes, you should go find some money during this time. PPP, probably done that, right? SBA, there's the EIDL, the EIDL loans. Hopefully you've already done that. If not, those are still open. So absolutely go in and apply for those. So, and then there are other lending. And if the government comes out with another package, and I kind of hope they do, especially for the businesses like restaurants, retail are getting hit the highest, hospitality in general, that would be great. And we always keep our eyes and ears on whatever is happening. But right now, we haven't heard of anything worth mentioning, certainly, that's going to happen. And I just think that's because everyone has been focused on the election for the last few months. So there's been really very little talk about any new package coming out. And with a new president, we don't know what that's going to look like. So let's not even bank on that. The SBA already still has the EIDL and the disaster loans available. So go to sba.gov and see what you can apply for. 100% get that done. If you're not sure that you need it, just get it anyway. You can always pay it back. What we have clients doing is, getting those loans. And if you don't need to use it, just set it aside in a high interest bearing savings account and just keep it there as a safeguard, because we don't know how long these loans are going to be available, and they're inexpensive, they're low interest, they're long term, so easy on cash flow. They're well worth it. Okay, so the next thing I want to talk about in terms of funding is, I know that here in the state of Massachusetts, and I have heard California and many other states, Colorado, I know of another one, are offering a lot of hospitality grants. So I would suggest going onto your state's website and also just Googling grants in your county, in your state, in your town. There are so many things going on out there, and I can't certainly look at all 50 states. I'd like to, but I know here in Massachusetts, we have the MGCC, and that stands for the Massachusetts Growth Capital Corporation. It's been around for a while. It's a nonprofit that actually is designed to help small business. Well, currently, the state of Massachusetts funded that with over $50 million to thrust some more money towards small businesses. So there are grants available, grants, not loans. They also do offer loans, but this is a grant package I'm talking about. So we have that here in the state. I am sure other states have the same thing. So highly suggest just Googling grants, low interest loans, COVID relief. Those are all the keywords you want to look up to see what's available near you. Another resource that I found when I was doing a little bit of research for this talk is on Toast. If you're familiar with that, it's actually a point of sale, one of the ones we do recommend, and they have a great blog. There's lots of great stuff on there. They really do run a great blog. I love to read it regularly. And I'm going to put a link in the bio here about blog and online. It says on the line relief programs, and they have a whole list of them. And these are nationwide type relief programs for restaurants and also just for restaurant workers. So I'm going to put that link right here in the comments so that you'll be able to see that. So again, there is money available. That's my first step, is seeing what you can secure, and don't go and spend it. Put it aside, and then you really need to have a plan to spend that money, because it is going to be debt, unless of course it's a grant. But if it's a grant, they're going to want to know how you spend every single penny. So just make sure your books are in tip-top shape, because they will come after that. I have no doubt about that. So the other side of this talk, and this is the rest of it, is going to be about what you can do in your business to make it through this time. So for example, of restaurants and even with retail, you may have to shut your doors, right? You may not be able to allow the public in, but chances are you can still sell to them in a very safe, socially distant way, such as back in, was it March, April, when restaurants were allowed to do takeout, curbside takeout. There is such a need for that. And I would also argue that retailers, there is a need if people are going to be really kind of trapped in their homes again for any period of time at this point. I think we're all kind of sick of it. They're still going to be shopping. They're still going to want something new. You're still going to want to reward yourself in some way. So there is a way to tap into that. Going back to the restaurants, there is a definite need to do takeout food. People, if they're stuck home all day, they're not necessarily going to want to cook. We don't know what's going to happen with the supply at the grocery stores again. There's a need for it. And right now, at least in this area, and from what I'm reading about across the US, there's not a lot of restaurants doing it right. So here's the thing, if you really put yourself, if you can kind of get out of your freaked out mode, which most of us are running in, right? And put yourself in the position of a working mom or a dad, or even a stay at home mom or dad, and what they're going through every day. And the only real treat that they can get for themselves might be a Friday night takeout or a Tuesday night takeout, whatever it is. And what they don't necessarily want is to go and get bad takeout, or to have what they used to have at your restaurant and loved just be scraped off the plate into a to-go box and brought to their house, because that is just not the same thing. It's the number one thing I see some of the nicer, higher end restaurants around here doing is cooking the food like they would if they were serving it in house and putting it on a to-go dish. Not going to work. You're going to disappoint your clients that way. I would completely redesign your menu to just be family style and individual, because there are individuals out there running around just trying to grab something to eat. And do it in a way that whatever you're cooking can travel easily, doesn't look terrible in a takeout container, do not mush things together, and simple. It doesn't need to be fancy. Please, I would say, don't be fancy at this time. The other thing I'm going to add to that is, especially with the family takeout dinners, just spend the extra time or a couple of cents and add something special in there. It'll go miles. And by that, I mean, sometimes you have tic-tac-toe printed up on plain paper with the cheap crayons. Don't even have to send the crayons, because who doesn't have crayons at home? Send a couple of those so the family has something to do at the kitchen table. That's relatively free. And the fact that you thought of doing that for your clients will go a really long way. Also, bake some chocolate chip cookies. Wrap up 3 to 6 in a bag with a little ribbon on that. It'll feel like they're getting a gift, and it'll mean so much to your clients. So here's where I see a big win here, especially when it comes to the restaurants, is you have an opportunity to create a menu that can have high margins, because it can be simplified, can use less ingredients, so that you're prepping the same thing over and over, which will save on labor, and just creating something that's easy to reheat, easy to serve at home to your family. Delicious, of course, and then just add a little something extra special there. It will go miles during this time. You will have repeat clients for a very long time if you just show them that, hey, we get it, we care about you. Here's a little something from us. So that's it. We have plenty of ideas here. It is so important to kind of brainstorm other things that you can do, because we definitely will get through this. We will. It's just how well you get through this is what we're really talking about and what really matters at this point. So, of course, if you have any questions, you know where to find us on sparkbusinessconsulting.com, through our Facebook page, through our office, however you like to connect. We're here and we're thinking about you. Thanks so much for listening and watching.